Hello, hello. Welcome back again. Digital Solutions 2024. Now we're looking at the short responses question. And today we are going to focus on question 11. Now, this question is a little bit tricky because I haven't actually reviewed the materials that you have for your study. So have a chat with your teacher and then see whether this one will work. What I've done is I've used what my experience in the IT field, and then I'll give you what I would have provided the answers. Hopefully, your teacher can agree with you or with me, or they can provide you with a better answer. Right, so question 11. So this is an interesting question. So the hospital has installed a new boom gate at the car park. So the boom gate will read the number plates and then double check whether they are allowed or not. Similar to what you have now seen across all the shopping centers as well, where it reads the license number in order to check for you whether you paid your parking or not. So, and then for the first part, we actually have to identify the three Australian privacy principle. So my gut feel here is that we can pick and choose which one we want. So I'm picking number one, number two, and number three. So let's have a look. So number one, open and transparent management of personal information. It's quite simple and straightforward. The implementation is that there should be a policy and procedures that the hospital should have, and that is clearly communicated with the staff member how they are going to collect the license number. For example, they are going to collect license number only from people who actually wants to use the car park. If you don't want to use the car park, you don't need it. Another way is that they probably can have like another policy where if you want to use the car park, you need to have another form. You need to fill another form in order to apply for the use of the car park. And the hospital should inform the staff like how are they going to use this additional information that they're collecting from the staff member. The next one here is I choose the anonymity and pseudonymity. So this one here is I'm relating to is that how can we make sure that the data that um, the data that's being used inside the car park we reduce the information that is being disclosed as well. So one way that I can think about it is that maybe we can have a way to sort of segregate the car park system and the hospital staff system so that if something goes down or something is breached, then the other system is not really affected as well. There should be a way to anonymize the details. For example, you can use the hash code as well because the hash code is another way to uniquely identify something without actually share the information. For example, when the car park system is sending the license plate number to the system, instead of sending the whole license plate number, it can hash code the license plate number as well. Another way that we can do as well is that we can build a smaller system, which what we call an API system inside the hospital that deals with all of this. So this system will receive a token request from the car park system about the license number to check. It will perform the validation internally to the staff system, and then it will only respond to false or fail. That way, whenever the system is hacked, it will not even disclose anything else other than true, false, or fail as well. So that's one way that we can do anonymity and pseudonymity. Now, the last one is the collection of solicited personal information. So the hospital is already collecting information from the staff about their personal details when they are employed with the hospital. So for the car staff who's going to use the car park, they can provide additional information to the hospital only for those people, and the hospital should only collect the necessary information. There is also a consideration to collect additional info like the car make, model, and color should there will be a dispute in the future because if the car park system have some sort of camera that captures the car on entry, So if there's a dispute of the car park system, then they have some sort of images and references to refer to as well. Now, also, as part of the policy, they should only use the information to identify the car using entering the car park, meaning that you can't use that license number information for something else. So that's part A. A lot of words. I hope if it's too much and too long, what you can do, just pause the video and then you can review the slides on your own time. Next one here is analyze the scenario, and then what we're gonna do is we determine risk to confidentiality, integrity, and affordability. Well, confidentiality, I think the risk, I probably have misread the question, so my answer probably not right. But I think in terms of confidentiality, the risk is that how can we ensure the system work without actually exposing the staff details? So one way to do that is ensuring that the car park system can never ask to access the staff information. So the car park system only need to know whether the car is good to enter or not good to enter. That's it. There's nothing else that it needs to do. Another way, as I said before, we can have an API system or a smaller system inside the staff system that deals with this information. So rather than hitting the main staff system, we can have a secondary system that is small enough to help the car park system to authenticate the user. Another way as well, if you want to really ensure confidentiality, is that we do not exchange the actual data, but we exchange the hash code of the data. Now, because the data currently here is very simple, because the data comes from the license number, which is quite consistent, the hash code will work, and then the system just have to return true or false, meaning that the car is allowed or not allowed. And finally, in the integrity, I don't have much in here, but I think making sure the data integrity. Normally, data integrity only impacts when you're entering data. So what we can do is that before you enter data, we need to have some sort of data authentications. What we might be able to do is that we might be able to, if we want to be very super integrated, we might be able to implement a system that authenticates the registration number with the transport department to ensure that the owner of the car is the same as the staff member who is signing, but I think that's an overkill for it. Um, One thing that we can do with the data integrity is to ensure that the registration number, only one registration number can be assigned to a single staff member. And finally, availability. This is something that very close to my heart about system availability. This means that how can we ensure that the system is not going to die? Because sometimes there's an outage on one system that causes the other system to stop working. So there's a few things that we can do in here. So we can have a smaller system inside the hospital system that validates the car entry. Now, this smaller system, since it's small, it's very easy to maintain, shut down, and restart by itself. So that's fine. Another way that we can do this is that we can have a redundant database. So this database doesn't contain the staff information, but this database contains enough information to authenticate the car. For example, it can contain all the list. It can contain a list of all the car registration that is allowed to enter the car park, but those information has been stored securely as well. This way, if the staff system went down due to an outage or whatsoever, this separate database will be able to run by itself and it will not impact the car park system. Wow, imagine that 10 minutes video for one question. So, yeah, so I think at the end of the day, sometimes you get scared because it's sort of digital solutions, but think about it. Just think about it in general, because technically the digital solutions is there to replace the paper solutions. And also think about it yourself as well when it relates to yourself. Sometimes we focus on the question and focus on the problem, and we're making it so big that we are unable to think clearly. So think about it. If it's you, what would you like them to do with your data? So if you are going to be using the car park here, what would you like to do? So what would you like to do in terms of availability? Of course, you always wanting whenever you arrive at the car park, you always gonna have it. Integrity as well, meaning that you don't want other people car registration being charged to your account. Um, and, um, confidentiality as well. You don't want people to know that your registration, what is your registration number as well. So have a thing in relation to you, and then you should be able to come up with the answer for this essay. With that in mind, that is question 11. Have a good day.